Saram to our listeners. Welcome to Saturday News number 436. And today we have a very special program for you. I'm Glab Blimoria of Sri Sathya Service Organization of New Zealand, and I offer my most loving and humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan, Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Just last weekend, the New Zealand Sai Organization held the National Sai Conference on the 9th and 10th of Feb. The hearts and minds of New Zealand Sai devotees were saturated with aspirations, gentle reminders, and the powerful force of love on this wonderful weekend. The theme was, "Your life is my message," implementing the Lord's Prayer. All who attended the talks, delivered by some amazing speakers, were once again re-energized and revitalized. The highlights of the highlights being the humor, wisdom, and powerful messages delivered by Professor Anil Kumar. Just in case if you are not aware of Anil Kumar, he is a fascinating speaker who, in addition to translating Sai Baba's discourses for many years, has given several talks at Prasanthi and various locations around the world. There are many books published based on his inspiring talks. He is a vibrant personality with a great sense of humor. He is here with us with his wife, Srimati Vijaya Lakshmi. Just the other day, he visited Hamilton and he was interviewed by our brother Venkat Reddy. So let's hear the interview that we had with Professor Anil Kumar.
Professor Anil Kumar, welcome to New Zealand and to our beautiful city of Hamilton. How have you enjoyed your time in New Zealand so far?
Well, I very much enjoyed this land for the reason that it's so vast with a limited population and natural beauty all around. I'm very much thrilled to see water everywhere and the greenery and the mountains. That added to the beauty of this land, and I find myself in new spirits, new zeal, and most befitting, I'm in this New Zealand. Thank you.
Beautiful, New Zealand, I like that. If I may start at the very beginning, sir, how did you come to know about Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba? How did you join his education mission? And how did you become his English translator, if I can take you back down memory lane?
Well, to tell you honestly, I have not come to Sai Baba on my own. He has come into my life because of his divine, inscrutable will. On personal grounds, because of the ailment of my wife, we were just going around different places. It so happened that we heard Sai Bhajans at one center. We went there where she experienced that peace abiding. And there she decided, why not we make a trip to Prashantanalayam? And that trip brought her back to her normal health. So it's the health, the particular need that brought us close to him. Later in my individual life, his message really made me feel the fire of it, the thrill of it, the ecstasy of it, the joy of it. And that led to commitment to spread to as many people as possible all these 40 years. Then being a translator, I have not become a translator. I am made a translator. It happened to be a World Council meeting at Prashantanalayam, attended by world leaders of Sai organization, including state presidents from India. I happened to be the state president of such organization, Andhra Pradesh, at the time. The meeting was held in Prashanti Mandir. The doors are closed, and Swami wanted to speak. Suddenly he wanted a translator. He was looking around. He called me, you translate. That's how I speak and translated. At the end, his comment was, you are too emotional and you are very fast. I said, Swami, this much I could do because of your grace, being first attempt. That's how my life as a translator started, having been bestowed upon with this rarest of the privileges.
You must have done a good job, sir, because he asked you to do the second and third and fourth and from there onwards, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And not only that, though there's warden in Vrindavan, Bangalore, Mr. Narasimhamurthy, who is also translator by his own right.
Yes.
He does it. But whenever there was All India conference there, or Prime Minister, Presidents visiting, he sends a word to me asking me to go over there and translate. I am eternally grateful to him.
So you were the big events man.
Well, if you want to look at it, good.
You mentioned Sri Narasimhamurthy, another giant in the Sai landscape. And that makes me think about the education side of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba's mission. How did you come to become part of that?
Well, I'm professor basically, born in a family of teachers for 4 generations. And I was serving already as professor of botany in my erstwhile college, Andhra Christian College, Guntur, in the state of Andhra Pradesh, for 26 years. I was working for Sai organization, and suddenly Swami sent a word that I should join his college. So I simply resigned, packed everything, and joined his college as a principal at Bangalore. That's how the journey in Sai education started.
That's quite a remarkable leap, sir. Was that an easy transition to make from an established position to leaping into the abyss, if it were, taking a plunge?
It is a tough job, a challenging job, very difficult to accept the change in every aspect of life. In my previous colleges, they were highly competitive in academics. Swami's institution, total personality development, body, mind and intellect. There we have indisciplined boys. There they want me to give some important questions. Here they want me to give more and more information. No one asks for important questions. Here all are obedient. And then here service is important. There pay pocket, how much money you get is more important. You get depending upon your demand. Here no matter whether demand or not, that's all. Your service, your worshipfulness, your commitment to Swami are more important. Change in values, change in the mode of life. Individually, I'm of different psychology. I'm a man who wants to share. But Prashanti's style wants us to be silent as much as possible. Silence is my lifetime enemy. I cannot afford to be silent. My second enemy in life is to be serious. I can never be serious. No. So these two are required there. I have got to be serious and silent. That is the biggest challenge ever. But while maintaining my own nature with which I was born, yet I could fit into that. It is still Baba's grace. If anyone asks me, oh, you are put in 23 years with Swami, I tell them, he kept me with him. I have not stayed. He kept me. That's what I say. By tolerating all my weaknesses.
Sir, if I can just ask you to cast your mind back over those beautiful 40 years and pick up on the highlights, as it were, of your time in his education mission and your time as his translator. Do any particular incidents or episodes come to mind as standout highlights of that career with Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba?
One striking thing that I observed was the way he talks to the President of India is very much same as the way he talks to a primary school child. The attention that he gives to the Prime Minister of a nation is very much same as the attention he pays to a college boy. That is enough of lifetime experience. In these days of status, dignity, knowledgeability, respectability, these are the days of some recognition, something unique and special. Here is Swami, who is same to everybody. That is the highlight in my life.
Were there any particular episodes that brought that message home to you? Any particular interactions with any dignitaries or simple devotees?
Okay. My son appeared for engineering examination final year. Well, after examinations for a vacation, he came to Bangalore. Swami gave us interview to my wife, me and my son. Swami looked at my son and said, did you fare well in the exams? He said, Swami, I have done well. Swami put that question again, did you fare well? Yes, Swami. Keep quiet, you have not done well. You have spoiled your electronics paper. That's not the way you should do it. Your parents are here and you are there at your native place. What will happen to them if you fail in the examination? You should not do it. Then that fellow had to admit, Swami, I have not done well in electronics. If you make a promise that you will follow me, that you will follow your parents, I will see that you get through the examination. Then immediately promise, Swami, or I don't believe you. You people promise and miss.
Gosh.
But Swami will never miss a promise. You may miss the promise you made, but I will see you will get through the examination. That too in first class. You wrote what about 40% or 35%? The rest I will write for you. it will be 60 first class. Had you written 60, I would have made you distinction gold medalist. But what to do? You'll get to the examination. That fellow was happy. And results were published. His number was not there. Evidently he failed. So I was sitting there. It happened to the visit of the Home Minister, Central Government, S.B. Chavan. He was on visit to Prasantalayam. Swami, instead of receiving him, he came straight to me. What about the results, sir? He said. Shall I tell him that he failed, that his number is not there? Swami, Home Minister is there. I don't want to spoil Swami's moods. It's all my fate or suffering which I have to bear it. Swami, I keep quiet. Your son number is not there, is right? You are a fool, I tell you. That college, all numbers are detained because they have not submitted their original certificates to the university. Therefore, all the results are detained of that particular college. You'll get the second list, don't worry. After 4 days, results were published. This fellow stood in first class. Then Swami comes there. What happened, sir? What do you think of Sai Baba? That happened in my life. That after, in front of Home Minister of India, I am nobody. I am nobody. Home Minister of India is next to the Prime Minister. Number 2 in the cabinet. Number 3 is the Finance Minister. The largest populated nation. Swami gives a priority to an ordinary teacher. I am eternally grateful. I feel that even if I am to make my skin into a pair of sandals to him, I would not be able to pay my debt of gratitude for a lifetime.
That is a truly remarkable episode, sir, where a simple devotee can be elevated even above the Prime Minister of the country, something that only Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba could do.
Exactly, very good. Yes, he could do that.
And this ability to make every single one of us feel as if we were special to him. There could be 50,000 of us in that Kulwant hall and we would all feel that we were the only person there. Would you agree, sir?
Personally connected. Just action replayed in Krishna Avatar. There are 16,000 gopis. Every gopi felt that Krishna is for her. All 16,000 could feel that they are close to him. And Lord Krishna also manifested like that. Is not one Krishna for 16,000. 16,000 Krishnas for 16,000 gopis. That's the reason Baba, in his myriad forms, he could endear himself to everybody. That's why Baba's devotees are in such a large, infinite number, spread world across.
And in fact, as you're traveling through Australia and New Zealand, you would have met many such devotees, and a lot of them haven't even seen the physical form of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and yet he has been able to touch every one of us and stay in our hearts. Would you care to share some of your interactions with some of the great devotees that you've met over the 40 years with Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba?
In fact, the last year about this time, I was in Latin America, touring Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Guatemala, Ecuador, El Salvador, all these countries I visited last year about this time. Most of them have not been to Prasantalayam. Most of them have not seen him. As they start singing bhajans, none can ever equal them. Their love for Swami, Himalayan dimension, that is his divinity. Without going there, today we find many gurus go propagating their philosophy. Many gurus want a propaganda. They want somebody to speak on their behalf. They go to different places. In the entire history of mankind, if there is anyone who has not moved out of the place, made the whole world come to his feet. It is only Bhagavan Sri Sat Sai Baba that made him all the divine on earth.
Remarkable. In fact, you would have found in your travels that there is no country where there are not people that don't know about Bhagavan Sri
Yes,
Sai Baba.
yes.
And that is truly remarkable. And he has managed to do all of this without Facebook, without internet, without anything else, simply by heart to heart.
Heart, love to love. That's it. And we find taxi drivers having Swami's pictures. If we ask him, we say, Sai Baba, did you see him anytime? No. Had you not been there? No. Why do you have it? He saved my son. Oh, is that right? Okay. I was in the hospital. He brought me to life. So they have individual experiences without having to go there, without seeing him even. That is really an amazing, spectacular phenomenon in one's own life.
And also the stories of transformation. So you shared your own story of how 40 years ago, due to your wife's ill health, you were introduced to Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, as it were. And now you have had a lifetime of experience with him. Can you share with us any other stories of devotees who have had tremendous personal transformation in knowing Swami?
Personal transformation has been taking place at the global level. One, many of non-vegetarians have become vegetarians today because of influence of Sat Sai Baba. Those who never had any water to drink excepting alcohol, they have become teetotalers today. Many of those people who are totally materialistic, who count life in terms of dollars and money alone, are charitable today. They want to serve somebody, care for somebody. Fourth, those who do not know anything else other than to live for themselves and the family, what you call self-centeredness. Today, they have got the broad spectrum of life in general, caring for the community, caring for their own life, thinking of life goals in a broader perspective. These are all the different changes in the transformation process of Bhagavan Sri Sat Sai Baba, who has revolutionized, if I am to say. He has revolutionized. It's a revolution. The individual lives. Impossible to believe it happening. Suddenly you find a guy who is wayward till then. Suddenly says, Sunday let me go to service. Amazing. Suddenly a busy professional, oh let me go to bhajan and have some peace of mind. So he works from within. That is spiritual revolution which he headed.
It's a truly remarkable journey, this of the person, of personal transformation. But another important or significant part of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba's mission is the tremendous works of education, of health care, of social care. Can you shed some light on that part of his mission?
Socio-care, aqua-care, edu-care, health-care, these are all different areas to indicate that he cares for you. His care for the man. Need water, it's aqua-care. You need health, health-care. You need education, edu-care. Above all, care for the individual man is most important. So, these are all different avenues, different channels of reaching out. The essential needs of man, such that he will rise above his human quality to realize the divinity within. That's ultimate purpose. Activities are secondary. The goal is to experience the divinity within. That is the goal. These are all different channels. So Swami has put these channels so that we will be actively engaged. Ultimate goal being to experience him within.
Beautifully said, sir, and a beautiful summary of the entire avataric mission of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, if I may say. Sir, we're almost at the end of our time. If I may ask you, in this day and age, for all the countries of the world, what do you think is Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba's central message for the entire world in this moment of history that we find ourselves in, and how, more importantly, how can we practice it?
Firstly, we have to realize that Satya Baba is not a religion. Baba is not a sect. There is no scope for fanaticism or dogmatism or narrow-mindedness. All religions are His. All names are His. All forms are His. So in whichever name you worship, whichever path you adopt or follow, you reach Him ultimately. Something like all rivers merge into the mighty ocean. All paths lead to His divinity. So He is not particular what path you follow. He wants you to follow that path sincerely, in practice. I am a Hindu. So, is my life in tune with the principles of Hinduism? Certainly not. I am a Christian. Is my life in true to the principles of Christianity? Certainly not. The practice of religion is spirituality, the quintessence of philosophy of Satya Baba. Well, religion is just a ritual. Baba makes it spiritual, above the ritual, the essence, the practice of religion. All can be summed up in just 4-lettered word. L-O-V-E, love. With love, everything else can be accomplished. That is the highest message, the message of Bhagwan Sri Satya Baba. As Howard Murphy, the great man from Australia, said, love walking on 2 feet. If it all is to be named, he should be Bhagwan Sri Satya Baba. Love walking on 2 feet. He describes in the 2nd volume, Avatar. I went round different ashrams all over India. I visited many great people, sages and saints all over India. But in him, I find love walking on 2 feet. That is, I love to get by heart some of the passages written by Howard Murphy, the writer in English literature. In fact, he wrote several books on theosophy. He belonged to that school earlier.
That's right.
Not a small man, I know him.
Yes. And a journalist of some repute before he came to Swami.
Good.
And he was able to combine his immense power of word with the immense power of love that he saw before him and within him.
That's why he writes in the 1st volume, Man of Miracles, this book is not for devotees. Who dares to write like that? This book is for beginners. This book is meant for the skeptic that doubt him. But all the contents mentioned here are subject to verification. As episodes have been mentioned, with full consent of those people who are ready to stand as a witness. That's what his honesty, simplicity, marvelous.
Beautiful. Sir, Howard Murphy is, again, one of the, unfortunately for us now, one of the historical giants of the Sai landscape. I wonder if I could ask you to reflect on 1 or 2 names, and I'm just going to throw 1 or 2 names at you. Professor Kasturi.
Professor Kasturi lived in ashram. He is right under floodlight.
Yes.
Murphy lived in Australia. He is Bharata, thinking of the formless, writing on the form. While Kasturi is Lakshmana, serving the formful right in front of him. Baba guiding him, telling him, clarifying his doubts every time, encouraging him. Here is a man who got inspiration from within. Formless worship, Nirakara. This formful worship, Sakara. That's how I take it. Both are giants.
Beautifully said, sir. And in fact, our listeners are in that category too, as I mentioned. They are spread all over the world. and so they will be taking a great inspiration from your words.
Thank you.
So you're speaking in Hamilton tonight at Phoenix House, I understand. Where do you go after this?
Well, I think as per my itinerary, I'll be going to Queenstown and Wellington, and thereafter I'll be going to Fiji and then Philippines. With that, my trip comes to a close on March 4th, reaching Bangalore around 11:30 in the night. That's it. For this slot.
For this trip only?
Yes.
And then the next trip starts again?
That depends on the demand of the devotees.
I must say that's quite an undertaking. How do you manage to do all this traveling, all this speaking, quite an arduous schedule? How do you manage?
Well, I have my own diplomatic way. When Swami was in physical form, I used to take advantage of vacation with one or no festivals that season. Swami, I want to go to these places. Go! He'll bless me, give me vibhuti. That's why I could visit 20 countries. After return from Kodaikanal, we returned and I translate his talks. Just the next day, Swami, may I go? Go immediately, I go like that. That's how I managed. And thereafter, as Swami left the physical body, I was in the university for a year more. From the last October 24th to October 25th is my birthday. I said goodbye to the university. And I'm 70 now. And the rest of the life slogan is this: live for Sai or live not. Or live not. It is just carrying the life of a vegetable. I don't want to do that. I want to breathe my last, spreading his message, come what may, come what. That is my decision, which I have been doing it with his divine grace successfully.
Sir, I wish you all the best in your very quiet retirement. And I also wish you safe and joyous travels for the rest of your time in New Zealand. I hope you enjoy this beautiful country of ours.
Thank you.
And in Fiji and the Philippines.
Yes.
On behalf of our listeners, thank you very much for your time. You said that your nature was to share, and I would wholeheartedly agree that you have shared a tremendous amount with our listeners today, and I thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this lovely opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Anil Kumar.
Well, we have come to the end of the program. I hope you enjoyed that interview done by Brother Venkat Reddy with Professor Anil Kumar. Saram to you all. So you'll hear from me next week.